What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the sbasketball Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah, and y'all, we are live for the second time so far today. And y'all, we will be watching the legendary Stanford head coach, Vanderveer, do her retirement press conference. Y'all, we knew that eventually this day was coming, but I cannot believe that this day has come. Vanderveer is one of the best coaches ever. I think whether it's women's college basketball, men's college basketball, NFL, NBA, she's one of the best coaches ever. She's done so much for the women's game, and y'all, it's definitely, as I posted last night in the community tab, it's gonna be weird not seeing her on the sideline, because I've been watching women's college basketball, y'all, for about 11, 12 years now, and I've been able to see her on the sideline all those years and just see her be a dominant head coach, see her lead her team to multiple Pac-12 championships, lead her team to multiple appearances in the Final Four, and going to a championship game. So it's going to feel weird, but Tara Vanderveer, you're a legend, and we celebrate you, we salute you, and we know that you're going to do well in this new role. So y'all, looks like it's about to get started. So I'll get ready to pull it up. Okay, y'all, I'm not sure what's going on. This guy is speaking, but we cannot hear him right now. I don't know if that's intentionally or I'm not sure why we're not able to hear him right now. Okay, y'all. Still not sure what's going on, but like I said, it seems like they're getting ready to get started here in a few minutes. Hopefully we'll be able to hear here in a few minutes. But yeah, y'all, Tara Vanderveer, the legend, has announced her retirement. Wow. This is a very, very, very historic day, I would say. Historic day. Because we get to salute one of the greatest coaches ever. And we also get to be excited for what's next for Stanford. So historic day, y'all. Very historic day. Yo, what's going on with you, man? How you doing, brother? I got to go. It's all good. Just came to say hi. Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for coming through, brother. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. How's everyone doing on today? Hope everyone is doing well. Hope y'all got to tune into my live that I did probably about 45 minutes ago. I was recapping the Bucks versus Celtics and also recapped the Lakers versus Warriors games on last night. Then I also updated y'all on Giannis Antetokounmpo's injury. Y'all weren't able to be a part of it live. Please go back And watch also, y'all, on yesterday, I did a Chicago Bears mock draft. I did a Washington Commanders mock draft, so please go and watch those videos. Y'all have some WNBA scouting reports coming out soon. Have some more NFL scouting reports coming out soon as well. So be ready for those. Oh, y'all, I think I heard something. Like I heard some kind of sound. Y'all hear that?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and
Party, y'all.
thank you for joining us today. A few quick notes before we get started. Friendly reminder to please silence your cell phones. We will have an opportunity, and we also have workspace set up in our AB conference room, which is located through that back door Tara and Bernard just entered, that you are all welcome to use as well. We'll start with opening remarks from Jay Christian Kenninger, Director of Athletics, Bernard Muir. He'll then turn it over to Tara, who will offer an opening statement, and then we will open it up to questions for you all. Bernard.
John, thank you, and thank you all for coming. Just hard to believe, Tara. You can relax. You can sit down for a little bit.
Thanks, Bernard.
I had the chance to visit with Tara quite a few times yesterday, and obviously this is a monumental moment for Stanford, for the athletic department, and certainly women's basketball. But Tara, on behalf of our coaches, our student athletes over the years, just thank you. That's all we can say, and say it repeatedly. At some point in time, we will honor your legacy, and we'll hold that for now. But today is just a chance to express our gratitude for all you've meant to this community, all you've meant to Stanford, to women's basketball, to college sport in general, and we're so appreciative. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I know you have some thoughts, but know that personally I will miss you. As I told somebody this morning, Jennifer Azey, who was on a call with me, I just said it's like I'm losing my security blanket because you've been such a confidant and somebody I could talk to get the coach's perspective. And on behalf of all those people that you encountered, especially myself, I just want to say again, thank you for all you meant to all of us. So with that, I turn it to you.
Thank you, Bernard. It's great seeing everyone this afternoon. Thank you for coming. It's a little overwhelming, I'll admit, but I'm very excited to have a chance to talk with you and share some of my thoughts. About 39 years ago, I called my father to tell him I was leaving Ohio State to take the Stanford coaching job. I wasn't completely honest because I told him I was thinking about taking the Stanford job. He proceeded to tell me that it was impossible to win at Stanford and the job was a graveyard job. After more about how crazy I was to consider Stanford, I interrupted him to tell him that I had taken the job. He hung up the phone and told my mother she will be unemployed, coming home, living with us in 3 months. As a young and upcoming coach, I left a great job and team at Ohio State to prove something to myself. To win at Stanford with the strict academic requirements is the ultimate challenge. When I met Assistant Dean of Admissions, John Bennell, he told me straight up, Tara, your recruits need to be able to jump through the same academic hoops as other admits. I remember thinking, John, I need recruits who can put it through the hoop. My father was right about one thing. The Stanford job involved digging, but instead of a graveyard job, it has been a gold mine job. My 38 years as the head coach of Stanford University women's basketball team have been nothing short of magical. Stanford is a beautiful place with incredible people. The strength of Stanford is unwavering commitment to excellence. At Stanford, the term student athlete isn't an oxymoron. What other basketball coach has Carolyn Bertozzi, a Nobel Prize winning chemist, in their locker room for a game? Where else would a star player, Chiney Ogwumike, have a former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, as an advisor? How fortunate are we to have Middle East correspondent Janine Zakaria do directed reading with a player so they could represent their country in summer competition? Who else has world-renowned happiness professor Fred Luskin meet with their team weekly developing mindfulness training? When our team and I needed help with leadership, I turned to the #1 business school in the country at Stanford and former Dean of Admissions, Kirsten Moss. She did customized leadership sessions with our team, coaches, and me. The S in Stanford is for special. Thank you to all our great faculty for your brilliance, dedication, and accessibility to our student athletes. I'm proud of the championships we have won and how we have built a great tradition. What brings me the most satisfaction, however, is to see the transformation of the young women on our team, both on and off the court. How about Kiki this season? Off the court, young, unsure women become steady, confident leaders. In the classroom, they've excelled and gone on to be doctors, lawyers, professors, businesswomen, and leaders. Just walking into Maples for practice and hearing the balls bouncing and the music playing has brought me great joy. Coaching has never felt like a job job. I've loved the game of basketball since the 3rd grade, when we did 3-player weave in gym class. From the beginning, the strategy of basketball intrigued me, but what really attracted me to the game is the importance of teamwork. It is thrilling to be connected and a successful team. As a daughter of 2 educators, I've enjoyed teaching basketball fundamentals and skills. Basketball is so much more than dribbling, passing, and shooting. Great teams love playing with and for each other. Basketball is the ultimate team sport, and I'm part of a great team. Thank you to my parents, Rita and Dunbar, for their love and support. My parents have always been my role models. My mom would always say to me, "You sure move faster on the basketball court than you do in the kitchen." That wasn't hard. My dad told me basketball will never take you anywhere. I sent him postcards from all over the world. As a young girl, I never played on a high school team or had camps or travel basketball. Our college schedule was only 8 regular season games. Coaching wasn't a profession for women. I got into coaching by accident. I had taken a year off after graduating from Indiana as a sociology major, and I was planning to go to law school. My sister Marie was on the newly formed high school team. Title IX had just passed. They had lost 99-11 the night before. My dad basically made me go help that team. I learned 2 very important lessons in my first year. First, after games, my parents would say, "Why didn't you play Marie more?" Parents see things through a different lens than coaches. Second, I loved my sister, and through my years as a coach, as upset as I might get with a player, I would always come back to, she was someone's sister. Thank you to Marie, my siblings Nick and Beth. I also want to give a big shout out to my sister Heidi, the head coach at UC San Diego. We talk daily and help each other. I love you, Heidi, and you are the #1 coach in the family. Coaching feels like it was my destiny. I watched hours of boys practice from the 7th grade on. At Indiana, I took Coach Bobby Knight's basketball coaching class. I got an A. And watched his practice for 3 years. While at Ohio State, I got to know the legendary Fred Taylor. Don Munson was my colleague at Idaho, and here at Stanford, I've had the incredible great fortune of becoming friends with late Pete Newell. Thank you to Andy Geiger for hiring me in 1985, and Bernard Muir for keeping me. One of my greatest supporters isn't here today in person, but he is with us in spirit, and we are in his building. Thank you, John Arriaga. Once, about 10 years ago, I seriously considered retiring and went to dinner with John. He had heard I was thinking about it, and he told me that was a bad idea. I told him I was exhausted. He recommended I take the summer off. His support was critical for me to take the time I needed. No one has cared more about Stanford and Stanford athletics than John. I'm so thankful for the love and support from the entire Arriaga family. Thank you, Joya, John Jr., and Laura. Thank you to Helen and Peter Bing for supporting our team as scholarship donors and financing our trip to Italy. Thank you to Tony and Linda Meyer for your annual barbecue and pool party and attending all of our games. Thank you to Jesse and Mindy Rogers for supporting the Women's Sports Foundation Legacy Fund, Scholarships, and Lifetime Cardinal. Thank you to the late Setsuko Ishiyama and her family, Nelson, Terry, Julia, Patricia, and Margaret, for endowing my coaching position. Thank you to all our exceptional donors for your contributions to endowed positions and scholarships. Coming to Stanford wasn't an easy decision for me. I initially said no to Andy Geiger. He asked me why, and I told him, I don't know enough about Stanford, so he said, come back. I actually learned a lot about recruiting from Andy. On my second recruiting trip to campus, I met the track coach, Brooks Johnson. Andy had instructed Brooks to keep walking me around campus until I said yes. We walked, and not only did I say yes to Brooks, but we became best lifelong friends. He is my soulmate. Thank you, Brooks. As I said, I am part of a great team. From the beginning, I've understood the importance of outstanding assistant coaches. I have always had incredible assistants. Thank you to Amy Tucker, who along with Julie Plank and the late June Doherty came with me from Ohio State back in 1985. Amy, I'm so grateful for your confidence in me. Thank you for the sacrifices you made to come to Stanford. Amy called me the first summer to tell me about a great guard. I asked, does she have grades? Amy said, yes, but there's a problem. She's from Tennessee. I said, ooh, that's a problem. But Jennifer Azzi came to Stanford and became the first All-American. When I took a year off to coach the Olympic team in 1996, Amy took over as the head coach. She coached the team for an undefeated Pac-12 championship and Final Four. She has the best winning percentage at Stanford. Thank you to Associate Head Coach Kate Pay. I love working with you. Kate is a phenomenal coach. She is knowledgeable, an excellent communicator, and totally invested in Stanford. Thank you to Katie Stedding. I'm so thankful for your loyalty and hard work. Katie was our first player to sign at Stanford. She was a key to our 1990 championship, along with being a member of the 1996 Olympic team. Thank you to Tempe Brown for coming back this season. I appreciate your calm, mature demeanor and how you always would check to make sure I was wearing matching shoes. Thank you, Bird. Erica McCall for joining our staff this season after a wonderful pro career. I have enjoyed working with you as much as I enjoyed coaching you. You are the quintessential coach. Thank you to my sport administrator, Heather Owen, our basketball staff, Eileen Roach, Jeanette Poland, Casey Spinetti, Brian Shank, Caitlin Knox, John Cantalupe, and Aaron Poindexter McCann. Working with our coaches and staff has been a highlight of my time at Stanford. I have thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to plan, strategize, argue, lots of my ideas get shot down, and laugh with such great colleagues. Thank you for making work so much fun. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the women's basketball coaches, sorority, and fraternity for their friendship and competition. Thank you to the giants of our game who I have admired: Pat Summitt, Jody Conrad, Gino Ariema, Seal Berry, Andy Landers, Muffet McGraw, Nancy Darsh, Kim Mulkey, Lisa Bluter, and Dawn Staley. I also want to thank the other coaches at Stanford who I've learned from and cheered for. When I first came to Stanford, it was very intimidating to be in the company of people like Dick Gould, 17 NCAA championships, Bill Walsh, Skip Kenny, but in fact they were welcoming, helpful, and supportive. Once I was walking into the athletic department following five-time NCAA champion Dante Dedamonte, I thought to myself, if he can do it, I can do it. We did win a couple of championships, and later, in the same spot, I met Sadao Hadama, who had coached the gymnastics team. And I said to Sadao, what got into you winning? He said, Tara, I said to myself, if you can do it, I can do it. Working and learning alongside great coaches and great people like Mike Montgomery, Trent Johnson, Johnny Dawkins, Tyrone Willingham, Jim, who has it better than us, Harbaugh, David Shaw, John Dunning, Mark Marquis, Greg Meehan, Ann Walker, John Tanner, Luli Fruit, just to name a few, has been inspiring. Thank you all for your support and encouragement. Another joy of working at Stanford has been watching and getting to know the accomplished student athletes in other sports. Once during a rainy winter week a young man asked me if he could putt on the side of the court. You guessed it, Tiger Woods. During the pandemic, I got to swim in a lane between Olympians Simone Manuel and Katie Ledecky. Talk about humbling. I've rebounded for Mark Madsen and led Andrew Luck and Christian McCaffrey and the football team onto the field as their guest coach. Most importantly, I want to thank all of the women I have coached at Stanford. I admire and respect the dedication that our student athletes have to excellence in the classroom and on the court. As their coach, I have aspired to help each player get to a place they couldn't get on their own. I've wanted to be a coach that I would want to play for. Someone who works very hard to give our team the best chance of being successful, along with a person who demonstrates empathy and compassion. Through the game of basketball, I have taught the importance of teamwork, hard work, discipline, determination, unselfishness, and resilience. I've had many former players tell me the demands of playing basketball have helped them be successful in their careers. Most importantly, I've wanted our team to have fun and be great teammates. Our players have been inspiring and motivating. When I asked the 1990 team members to write down on an index card, what is your contribution to the team? Walk-on Angela Taylor, who rarely got in the game, wrote, "Spread sunshine." We won the NCAA championship. When I asked Chris McMurdo, an incoming freshman, as we drove onto campus, on campus drive, what are you thinking about? Instead of the expected answer, she said, "I want to make a difference in this world." She's a doctor now. When our national team was in Ukraine in January, our bus was leaving for the airport at 3:30 a.m. As we boarded the bus, 12 to 15 women, shivering in thin coats, were begging. Everyone, including me, walked right by, ignoring them. Not Jennifer. She reached in her pockets and gave them her money and then opened her suitcase and gave away her clothes. Everyone on the bus followed Jennifer. After losing, arguably, the toughest game ever to Old Dominion in 1997, the players were inconsolable. Jamila Weidman commanded the room, "Pick your heads up. I would rather lose with you than win with anyone else." Later, after a very tough loss to UConn in the national title game, Jane Appel emotionally told me she didn't want to take her uniform off because she knew she would never put it on again. I have so many stories of how the people I have coached have motivated me, influenced, and inspired me. I have learned so much from each player. I'm eternally grateful for having them in my life. I am incredibly proud of the Stanford sisterhood. We've had real sisters. Carly could find Bonnie open anywhere on the court. NECA was another coach for Chennai, and Lexi and Lacey competed daily. In tough games, the sisterhood is a key to victory. It was very exciting this season to win 3 overtime games. I don't think we've ever had 3 before. And see how hard everyone was playing for each other. Yes, the championship years are on the wall in Maples, but what I see when I look up there is Kiki high-fiving Cam, Jennifer and Sonia leaving the court, arms around each other, Candace hugging me, and NECA embracing Roz. It is the friendships that we have that makes it so special. It has been an honor and a pleasure to be part of these women's lives. My goal has been to be a teacher, mentor, confidant, and eventually a lifetime friend for them. I have grieved at funerals of parents and former players. I have celebrated at weddings. When children are born, I've been called within the hour, or I talked my way to the hospital to see mother and newborn. As John Poland said to me when recruiting Jeanette, "Tara, we are family." Thank you, fans and the Stanford Fast Break Club. Our fans are fantastic. It has been thrilling to see the attendance at our games go from being able to count on my fingers and toes the number of people in the gym to sold out Maples. I will be sitting up with you next season cheering for our team. I'm very sad about losing the great Pac-12 conference. Thank you to the outstanding coaches that I have competed against for close to 40 years. Thank you to our conference administrators, conference game officials, and Pac-12 network. Thank you, media, for your coverage of our teams through the years. What a pleasure it has been to get to know Dwight Chapin, Elliot Allman, Darren Sabata, Tom Fitzgerald, Ann Killian, Michelle Smith, Scott Osler. It's a big game if all three from the SF Chronicle are here. Marissa Injami, Joan Ryan, Janie McCauley, Anthony Flores, Cheryl Coward, Michael Roberson, Jason Dumas, Aaron Wilson, Kate Rooney, Vern Glenn, Gary Radnish, Ashley Adamson, and Mary Murphy. Thank you for telling the stories of our games and great players. There's a young girl out there who will watch or read about Stanford women's basketball, and her dad will say to her, "Basketball will take you everywhere." Questions? Thanks, John.
We'll now open it up for questions. Please raise your hand, and we'll find you. We have mics on both sides of the room. A reminder to introduce yourself and include the media outlet you are representing. Thank you. We'll start with Michael over there on the left.
All right, Mike, thanks for that, mentioning my name. Michael Robertson, the African-American athlete. So Tara, as I told you before, when you recruited Sonia from my hometown, I was like, I love this woman. And then when you guys won the championship, it was awesome. So I also want to thank Brian Rizzo for finally getting me credentialed to cover you guys way back in 2010. It's been a pleasurable ride to see you this whole time. So how would you surmise how it ended when you had all these great players during this time frame I covered you guys, like NECA, and then you go to Kiki and Cam to end this, your career?
You know, Michael, thanks for being here today. I honestly have to pinch myself and just say, wow, what a ride, what incredible opportunity to be coaching at Stanford, working here, and to coach the outstanding young women that I get to coach. And I got as you can imagine, my phone blew up. Text from Chennai, NECA, Roz. It's just, I can't imagine a better life.
We'll go to Michelle next over here on the right, and then Vern on the left.
Hi, Michelle Smith from the Next Tar. Can you take us through your decision process, how long you've known that you were going to make this announcement, and what the tipping points were for you?
Well, you know, I went into kind of this year extremely motivated. We had motto, best year ever, and it's been a fantastic year. And I just really wanted to enjoy every practice, every game, and after every year, I really evaluate it. I probably retired at least 20 times in my mind, you know. I mean, it's hard work. You are exhausted after the season. And so I wanted to give myself some time when our season was finished and just really, you know, make sure I knew that this was what I wanted to do. So, but the time has felt right. I want to just say that it has nothing to do with going into the ACC. That was a motivator to want to stay, to play that competition, because I think it's going to be a great, great league. But, you know, my mom is 97 this year, and I think just wanting to do things that maybe you just, you know, want to do in your life, and you realize that, you know, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is your real life. And I feel like basketball coaching has changed a lot over the 40 years, as you can imagine, but now it is an incredibly 24/7 job. And even if you're on vacation, I might be water skiing at the lake, but I'm on the phone recruiting. I've got, you know, a 4 o'clock call, 4:30 call, you know, and sometimes it's just, you're ready. And I just felt I'm ready. I never really thought I would be. I kind of just, you know, just felt like maybe I would, you know, kind of just keel over on the bench. But, you know, I mean, I just, you know, because I love it. I love it. I love it. And I told our team this yesterday, that the hardest part is that this year's team made it really hard. Just such great young women, you know, hardworking. Did we want to go further? Yes. But what a ride. And I've coached teams before that, you know, we have gone further, and you're still looking forward to next year, you know. So it kind of just came together.
Vern?
Coach,
Hi, Vern.
hi. This is strange. Anyway, do you go through maybe like a personal checklist? I mean, when you decide to do this, do this, yeah, do that, because they say you want to leave, but you want a little left in the tank. So for you, I mean, was it a matter of that before you said, okay, adios?
I feel like I tried to put everything into it this year that I could, and again, I thought, and for me, walking out of Maples after the big game that we had at Iowa State, we couldn't play another game in Maples, and I just said, if this is my last game, damn, this is fun. This was an awesome game, and I just said I feel that it's time, but I will say that I feel like I can contribute more to Stanford and to our athletic department. And I hope that, whether it's an ambassador type of job or advisor, consultant, one of the things that I did this year, I think that was really helpful, was I had a coach, and I think I could be a good coach for some other coaches who just maybe need some perspective. And so I don't feel like I'm in the reserve tank. I've still got a lot of tread.
And over here front, right?
Hey, Tara.
Hi, Ann. Sorry about the quick press conference, Ann.
I know I had a martini before I found out you retired. It was kind of put me under the gun there. You retired on the day that a huge landmark happened. We learned that the women's game not only outdrew the men's game, but trounced the men's game. I'm just wondering what you can say about stepping away, not that you're stepping that far away, but stepping away when the game is at this point that it is.
And it is so thrilling to see the support for women's basketball. When I come in this room and look around this room, there's more people in this room that were at our first game. And the support for women's basketball is just growing, and for basketball in general. It's very, very exciting, and I do feel that you all as members of the media are so important to the growth of our game, and it's where we are now is because people are watching and learning and getting to know these outstanding players. But the game is more than one or two teams or one or two players, and it's really exciting to see kind of where we are. So I feel like I'm leaving it in a good place.
Next we'll go Cheryl in the back row, and then Janie here in front.
Cheryl Coward, hoopy.com. First of all, I just want to say thank you for all you've done for the sport, for being a beacon for women's basketball and women's sports in general.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you very much. And kind of to follow up on Ann's question, when you first came to Stanford and you thought about, your dreams for women's basketball and compared to where we are now, what are some things maybe you thought in your wildest dreams may have never come true, or that they did come true? And what are you looking forward to sitting back in the future for the growth of the game?
Well, obviously, I never really played growing up except for having the best ball, so the boys had to let me play in their games, or I'd be out shooting by myself, and I would be dreaming about what is happening for these women now, going to a full stadium, being on television, just all the excitement that is part of the game now. So but even as a young girl, I could see it, and I always believed in it, and that's kind of maybe why I went into basketball and have been able to do what I've been able to do. But I really had a vision as a young girl that this is going to be something really exciting. And, going to the Olympics, and we had, 40,000 people at our game there, the television coverage. We're just scratching the surface of not only how good we're going to be, but just how exciting it is going to be. Let's double the numbers.
Go to Janie in front.
Hi, Tara. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Thank you. I'm going to keep it at that because I want to keep myself calm, collected here. But Tara, this is a unique situation where you know who will replace you, and it's Kate Pay, and I think that's says a lot for what the relationship you've had with Bernard, but what does that mean to you, the fact that the program won't go through a drastic overhaul and change, and your staff will largely be intact, and you have someone who's been there up next to you for 17 years and played for you? I mean, that's pretty unique and special.
It is. Thank you, Janie. When Bernard said I was his security blanket, I'm thinking Kate's been my security blanket. So Bernard's just a different blanket. Kate is going to be awesome. I've loved working with Kate. She's brilliant, hardworking, is a great communicator. She loves Stanford and loves the players here at Stanford. No one will outwork Kate. And I think a lot of, she's paid her dues. She's had opportunities to be a head coach other places, and she has been incredibly loyal. I just cannot say enough good things about her. I want to be back up here and have a chance to say more when it's her day.
We'll go to Ben over there on the left.
Over here. Hi, Tara.
Hi, Dan.
Ben Parker, CardinalSportsReport.com. Tara, just what's been the kind of key to your kind of evolution as a coach from when you got to Ohio State to now, and just you've always been able to kind of adapt and change, just kind of what's been the key to that?
I would just say that I really feel like I'm a lifetime learner. I'm really curious about, and I'm a copier. So I watch teams and see what they do, and I watch a lot of games on TV and obviously on my hard drive now. But I think that just wanting to always give our team an edge, give our team the best chance of being successful, developing ways to have our team prepared. And I think that's been, and also just wanting to always really keep it fun, just knowing that, basketball is, it's fun. It's great going to the gym and make it, have fun with it, be excited.
Next, we've got a question back middle.
Hi, Kiki Iriafen Jr. Stanford women's basketball. Tara, amazing career. Kudos to you. So what is your favorite Tara-ism, your favorite Tara saying?
Wow. Let's see, Kiki. Let's see. Well, there are a couple of them, I guess. Let's see. Sleep nights, when we're not focusing on a drill. That might be the one of some days you're the dog, some days you're the hydrant. And some of them just, they made the movie Dumb and Dumber and you weren't in it. So, just some of them just pop into my mind, at the time. It's, I think some of it is just knowing maybe who I'm talking to, too.
All right, we've got Troy over here, front left.
Hi, Troy.
Hey, Tara, good to see you again. 3 national championships, 90, and 2021. How would you compare and contrast those 3 national championship squads?
Well, I think we were able to win in 1990 because of the three-point line. When the rules changed and the three-point line was adopted, that became more our style of basketball. We weren't like this big, kind of inside team, but we were more of a shooting team, and that's where I think Jennifer and Katie kind of led the way. Sonia Henning, we had real good perimeter shooting. We took advantage of the three-point line in both of those years. And then in I think one of my players, Stacy Parsons, says just have a kind of an emergency, and Stanford will win. Like we had the earthquake in 1990, and then we have the pandemic in 2021. So, during the pandemic, I think our team had incredible focus, and just we're really ready for winning that. Now, I think we probably could have won 15 other times. We had teams that were at the Final Four, and our team that lost to Connecticut, that had a chance. I think the hardest loss ever was Old Dominion, where we had a great team. And, a player like Kate Starbird was that kind of electrifying player, like a Caitlin Clark. But it was, those sometimes sometimes the stars just have to be in alignment in those years that they were. But I don't know that those teams were necessarily like head and shoulders above any of the other teams that were, Final Four contenders. And they just, sometimes the ball bounces right. We went against Arizona. That ball was in the air for a long time. Remember that, Hannah? So, but we were able to pull it out.
All right, next we've got Alex here, front right.
Hi, Tara. Alex
Hi,
Simon
Alex.
from SF Gate. Obviously, you're still going to be involved, according to the press release, in Stanford in some capacity. As you make this decision now, how much do you still want to be involved in the sport of basketball? But on the converse end, what things are you looking forward to getting to do that coaching hasn't let you do in that regard?
Well, I think that I don't feel like I want to just become a hermit or drop off. But I'm also I also part of the decision is so that, as an example, I play bridge with my mom every day, and I'm going to start studying, so I'm a little better, more competitive with her. But I want to do other things, But I do want to be involved with this great game of basketball that I have been part of. This has been my whole life. I asked the group yesterday. I've been in coaching for basically, not counting my sister's year, but 48 years as an assistant or head coach, and this is what I know, and I love it. But I really, I feel like I love Stanford too. So that if I have an opportunity to, be a mentor and someone that can, help with whether it's a transition or, with things at Stanford, I speak at a lot of things all over campus. I want to be involved, but it'll be a balance. When you're a coach, and I think Kate might have woken up a little bit feeling differently. It's like you're on 24/7, and I'm ready for just maybe just the 7, not the 24.
Any other questions? Troy? We'll start with Troy and then go to Vern.
Yeah, you may have hinted at this a little bit, but 1,216 wins, tops in all the land. How hard is it to win one game?
Well, I remember my very first coaching game at Idaho, and it might have even been an overtime game. John could check on it, or it might have been, but I remember it was a really close game, and a team came over, and I said, okay, we were up. I think we were up 3, and the other team had the ball, and I just said, all right, so all we got to do is let's play great defense and not foul. We went out, fouled, they hit the shot, and it was overtime. I said, well, this is going to be harder than I thought. Coaching is hard work, but it is incredibly rewarding. And I think I just love coming to the gym. I will admit, I think I enjoy practice more than the games. And I will say that I hate losing more than I enjoy winning. I'm probably someone that looks at, well, what could we have done better? And no matter how we played, try to think about that. But it's there's no better job. I mean, I've lived just a charmed life, and I'm so fortunate.
Vern?
Yeah, Coach, just following up on your mom. I mean, I know you've got these bridge games in front of you. What did your mom say when you called her and you told her?
Well, I told our team before I told my mom, because I was afraid my mom might tell someone and they would post it. And I wanted something that was really important to me. My mother doesn't know how to post very well. And what was really important to me was that our team did not hear it by a rumor or whatever, and they would hear it from me. And then last night after we met with the team, I thought I'd better call my mom. And so I did, and she was very excited, and that I'll get to spend more time with her. I didn't tell her that I was going to really start studying the bridge game, though.
Mike over here on the left.
All right, Coach. Not trying to be controversial, but do you feel somewhat bittersweet that you won't get to see Kiki's senior year?
I will see it. I told our whole team that I'm not leaving. I will be here, very present for them. And I just said, just because you retire doesn't mean that you're not going to need to eat lunch. So I'll be in the stands. I'll be cheering, and I'm very excited about the development of our young players. I mean, every player, they're very motivated. They're in the gym, and kind of what Kiki did. I think I will say tonight in our banquet, copy Kiki. I mean, she went from the numbers are incredible, and the confidence that she has shown and the leadership that she has shown. And I think that, other players also want to come and play with her, and they've expressed that to me. So I will always be Kiki's coach. I mean, Kate might get it for 1 year, but I've had it for 3, and I've loved it.
Ben over here on the left.
Hey, Tara.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, I just want to know how much pride you take in the coaching tree that you've kind of set up. You got Lindy at UNLV, you got Charmin at Cal, you got Kate taking over for you here. Just how much pride do you take in seeing former players kind of carry on your legacy as coaches and being able to impact them in that way?
Well, maybe if I was coaching somewhere else even, I mean, because some of these people that could have been great coaches are doctors and lawyers and professors, but they're, I'm very proud of all of the coaches that I've worked with, whether it's been assistant coaches or, head coaches. And we do have a really strong Stanford sisterhood. And that is something I take tremendous pride in. And, even like in the WNBA, a lot of, the players, we've had I think about 30 players go to the WNBA and more even playing overseas. And, the fact that, again, my phone last night just blew up with former players texting me and calling. And that's why you do it. It's to have the relationships that you have. And sometimes they don't understand it as it's happening because as coaches, we are hard on them. We are very demanding. But only to see them be really successful.
Got time for one more?
Hi, Tara. Larry Moody. I'm the former mayor of the city of East Palo Alto. I'm presently with Job Train as a government affairs person who you've supported us for decades. And my question to you is, first of all, I want to say thank you on behalf of the community of East Palo Alto, because as long as I've known you, you have always made it a point to bring the women's basketball brand into our community. I can't think about the numerous clinics that Stanford Women has conducted in our community, and you've given us a platform, right, for our women to talk to the women of Stanford and to really inspire them in so many different ways. Obviously, Markeisha Coleman landed in your locker room, and we're so grateful to that. Talk about the motivation to make sure that your student athletes had an opportunity to see another community in the way that you presented us.
Well, thank you for coming today. And, whether it's, through Job Train, which I've been part of their board and, really admire the work they do. But our team with Jennifer and Sonia and Katie, we used to go over to Annetta Harris Center. And that was back in the day when I was playing. And we would play against the fellas there. And it's, I think that that's what a great part of the type of player that we have at Stanford is that they give back. And I think that that's something that we really try to do. We had actually what's called the Shoot for the Stars program, where kids would come over to campus and, wanting to have, Stanford not be on an island, but be part of the community. And I'm really proud of the kind of the community involvement that our team, our coaches, and our players have done over the years.
And last question right here to Janie in front.
Tara, you just mentioned 10 years ago you seriously considered it. That was John Arriaga you had the conversation with.
Right.
Where
I'm glad I didn't, though.
That's what I'm following up on. What did you take the summer off?
I did.
Fully? I mean, did you do what did you do that summer?
I did. I listened to John, and I had permission from Bernard to basically take the summer off. And I think some of it it's not just that one year, but like in doing the Olympics, I'm coaching a summer team, winter team, summer team, winter team, and it went on for about 10 years, and then it just caught up with me a little bit. And I think I was just, sometimes you go through some tough, rocky roads with teams, and I was just worn out. And John gave me great advice, and he it really helped me a lot. And I had obviously the help of assistant coaches that allowed me to do that. It's almost like a sabbatical that professors would take, and it was awesome. And so then that really kind of gave me a lot of energy. And a lot of coaching is about having a tremendous amount of energy, and you have to bring it every day. And I'm so, again, when I go to the gym, it's I have great coaches and staff that are energizing and upbeat and positive, and our team is that way too. And that's what made it so much fun this year.
Water skied, read books.
I
Did
water skied.
anything but basketball, really?
I did. I water skied. I sailed. I spent time with my family, and it recharged the battery. There's really no right now. There's really no one of the hard things I think in coaching for both men and women. There's no work-life balance, and maybe as reporters you feel the same way. But it's really challenging, and so I really felt like for me, if I can't give our team 100%, then I know someone else can, and they deserve that. But this year I did, and I'm really excited about the year we had.
And last thing on this, did you go into the summer saying, okay, if I take this time off, I will return, or did you leave it open?
No, I didn't leave it open. I was coming back.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Tara. Thank you all for
All
being
right, thank
here.
you all very much.
All right, y'all. There you have it. Tar Vanderveer, longtime Stanford legendary head coach, retirement press conference, y'all. Wow. One of the greatest coaches of all time. The most wins in college basketball history. And y'all, man, did she have some really, really, really great players throughout her years. Like I said, y'all, once this press conference was over with, I was gonna kind of go in depth on Tar Vanderveer's career, her legacy, and then give y'all my top 5 coaches. So y'all, Tar Vanderveer, I mean, this is her career. 1,216 wins, 13 NCAA Final Four appearances, 27 Pac-12 regular season championships, 15 Pac-12 tournament championships, 5-time National Coach of the Year, 11-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. I mean, y'all, this is something that will never, ever, 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 ever be done again. I mean, this woman won 27 Pac-12 regular season championships. Think about that, y'all. She was there for 39 seasons. And in 27 of those seasons, she won the Pac-12 regular season championship. She won the tournament championship 15 times. 15 times. 11-time Pac-12 Coach of the Year. Y'all, I mean, let's just call it spade a spade. For the last 4 decades, Tar Vanderveer and Stanford had a stranglehold on the Pac-12 conference. And obviously, you know, there have been some good teams in the Pac-12. Obviously, USC back in the day, particularly in the 80s, UCLA, Oregon. But y'all, none of those teams have been able to stop Stanford. And so when I think about Stanford moving forward, hello, how you doing? Welcome. When I think about Stanford moving forward, y'all, I don't know where they go because their fan base is so used to being one of the best teams. One of the best teams, y'all, in women's college basketball. Now their new head coach, Kay Pay, we have to see what she can do. And I'm not saying she's not going to be successful, but y'all, obviously, she will not ever be able to replicate what Tara Vanderveer did. I mean, that goes without being stated, really. Let's just be honest. Okay, people thought Holly Ward was going to do that at Tennessee. She wasn't able to do it. When he announced his retirement, whoever's going to be the next head coach of UConn, he or she will not be able to replicate what he did. But for Kay Pay, she's going to at least have to make, like, say if she ends up being the head coach for 15 years, she needs to get to the Final Four probably 5 to 8 times in those 15 years. And I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm just saying that's what Stanford fans, that's what they expect. And then eventually they're going to want her to win a couple of national championships, but they're going to at least want her to get to the Final Four. If she's not able to do that, y'all, she won't last long. As y'all know, with NIL, it's really an even playing field now. That's why, and I think I've said this on here multiple times, y'all. That's why there's so many good teams in women's college basketball now, because NIL, all these teams have to do is say, hey, I'm going to throw X amount of dollars at this player. She's going to want to come here. See, back in the day, y'all, everybody went to what? Tennessee, UConn, Stanford, USC. Now players are going where? Colorado, UCLA, Virginia Tech, Ole Miss. They're going to schools like that. Schools that were not dominant back in the day, but are pretty good now. That's where they're going. So because they're going to these schools that don't have the rich tradition and history that, say, Stanford, Tennessee, and UConn does, it means what, y'all? These teams are better now. Whereas back then, you only had a few, like, really good to great teams. Now you got so many good teams, y'all, in women's college basketball. And so it's only going to get harder to win and win at the highest level, because these teams just continue to get better and better and better. And y'all, it's always those surprise teams that's come out of nowhere every year. You look at the last couple of years, Colorado's been on the rise. Now this year, who was it? Kansas State. They came out of nowhere. So it's always those teams, y'all, just coming out of nowhere. And then there's those teams like an Ole Miss who just keeps getting better year after year after year. Vanderveer this year won 23 games. They're getting better. Okay, you look at the ACC, y'all. Miami, they keep kind of being, Miami last year went to the Elite Eight. This year, they didn't have the same success, but they're still a decent team. They continue to get better. So these teams just keep getting better and better and better and better and better. And it's making it harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to win. So for Kay Pay, she will be judged by what, y'all? Final Four appearances. Okay, now they're gonna want her to at least get one national championship. I think the fan base will understand, though, it is harder nowadays to win a national championship because there is so much great talent, because there are so many great teams, and because these young ladies are going to a lot of different schools. Whereas back in the day, they were all going to like the same schools, so those schools are dominating. Now that talent is spread out, you have so many great teams. And that's why, like, coming into this year, y'all, we didn't know who the heck was going to win the national championship. Right? And so Stanford, one of the best programs of all time. I think they will be good, y'all, this coming up season for the years to come. I don't know if they'll be great. Okay? And I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Tara Vanderveer, just on a different level, y'all. One of the greatest coaches of all time. Speaking of greatest coaches of all time, y'all, I put together my top 5 coaches in women's college basketball history. It's not in any particular order. I think it's so hard to rank these coaches. So it's not in order. And let me just say this, honorable mention to Kim Mulkey, Kay Yao, Muffin McGraw. Honorable mention to those coaches, y'all, because you can easily put them on this list as well. So, y'all, these are my top 5 coaches in women's college basketball history. So we got Gino, Tara Vanderveer, Pat Sumner, C. Vivian Stringer, and Don Staley. Gino, I mean, you're talking about this man has won 11 national championships, y'all, including a stretch where he won 4 consecutive championships from 2013 to 2016. Now, that's something that will never, ever, ever happen again. Okay, period. That won't happen again. You won't see a team win 4 national championships in a row. Heck, it's hard to go back to back. But you're talking about this man, 11 national championships, 23 Final Four appearances, 27 conference titles, 8-time Naismith Coach of the Year, 9-time AP Coach of the Year. I mean, y'all, 12-time Big East Coach of the Year. I mean, Gino is probably the best coach ever. And again, this is not in any particular order, but I mean, from a record perspective, he's won 88% of his games, and from a title perspective, he is the best coach of all time. But again, y'all, this is not in any particular order, but Gino definitely one of the top 5 coaches ever in women's college basketball history. Next up, Tara Vanderveer. I mean, I just read y'all her resume. I mean, impeccable. Completely dominated the Pac-12 for 4 decades. Like I said a few minutes ago, y'all, she had a stranglehold on that conference. And you knew, like, Stanford, year in and year out, they were going to be an elite team. Now, I know they went, 29 years where I won a national championship. But even those years they didn't win it, they were still a force to be reckoned with, y'all. And you knew, man, them girls in California are nothing to play with. Next up, y'all, we got Pat Summitt. May she rest in peace. And Pat Summitt, I mean, you're talking about 8-time national champion, right? 18 Final Four appearances, 16 SEC tournaments, 5-time Naismith Coach of the Year, 8-time SEC Coach of the Year. Was at Tennessee from 1974 to 2012. Won 1,098 games. Won 84% of her games. One of the most intense and fiery coaches of all time. But it worked, y'all. Like, her coaching style worked. And I mean, Tennessee was the premier program when she was there. They worked. Even her later years, they were still really good, y'all. Still really, 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 really freaking good. So many great players throughout the years. And I mean, what else has to be said, y'all? It's Pat Summitt. Next up, we got C. Vivian Stringer. And y'all, I think C. Vivian Stringer is kind of like the godmother of women's college basketball. Because you're talking about a woman that was a head coach from 1972 to 2022. So for 50 years, she was a head coach. And I know C. Vivian Stringer never won a national championship. But y'all, I think she did so much for women's college basketball. She started off at Cheney State. What she did there, right? That's a long time ago. So for people that remember that, hey, you're an OG for real. And then she came to Iowa, had a lot of success. I think people forget she was at Iowa, had a ton of success there. Then she moved to Rutgers, y'all. Still had a ton of success. And you're talking about a woman that I feel like without C. Vivian Stringer, y'all, we don't have some of these coaches that we have now. We don't. But she paved the way for a lot of these coaches that you see now. She really did. And that's why I say, in my opinion, she is the godmother of women's college basketball. You talk about she went to the Final Four 4 times, 6-time Big Ten regular season champs, 3-time Big East regular season champs. Naismith Coach of the Year back in 1993. But even beyond the stats, y'all, she also won 1,055 games. But even beyond the numbers, like I said, she did so much for women's college basketball. She has to be in the top 5 again. I know she didn't win any championships, but I don't care. C. Vivian Stringer is a top 5 head coach of women's college basketball history, in my opinion. So I know some people going to, again, you're going to say, well, Zay, she didn't win any championships, you know, and some of these coaches, other coaches did, but y'all, C. Vivian Stringer, top 5 head coach of women's college basketball history. And then last but not least, y'all, and again, it's not in any order, but last but not least, we got Dawn Staley. Obviously, now she got over 600 wins, 3 national champions, and it's been on the incredible 10-year run since 2014. I mean, wow. And the fact that she's been able to win 3 national championships, you know, with UConn, with Baylor, and with Stanford, all being, you know, dominant teams during the last 10 years, it says a lot, man. South Carolina, best women's program right now. And the legacy that Coach Staley's built there has been phenomenal. So, y'all, those are my top 5 coaches in women's college basketball history. How y'all feel about this? Like I said, to begin this list, honorable mention to Kim Mulkey, to Kay Yow, and to Muffin McGraw, because you could put them in the Sylvia Hatchell, same thing. I mean, y'all, there's been a lot of great coaches in women's college basketball history. But in my opinion, these are the top 5 coaches in women's college basketball history in terms of just obviously winning, but then the impact they had on the game, the players that they, you know, have had. Because, y'all, you talking about all these programs. These coaches that I had on here, all their programs have produced a lot. Now, some of them, you know, the WA was not around when some of these coaches, like when Tar Vanderveer started, or when Gino started, or when C. Vivian Stringer started, or when Pat Summers started. The WA wasn't around them, but still they have some of the greatest players to ever play women's basketball. And so I think all that matters, right? Winning off the court, your off the court impact in your community, and then the players that you had, the historic players that you had play for your program. So there you have it, y'all. That was us watching Tara Vanderveer's retirement press conference. And then also I just recapped pretty much her career and also gave y'all my top 5 coaches in women's college basketball history. Appreciate everyone for tuning in to the second live stream of the day. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, y'all, I want to say this before I get up out of here. John Calipari is supposed to be doing his introductory press conference at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I don't know, and I'm assuming they are, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see that. Like, I don't know if Arkansas's YouTube page or their Twitter page or whatever is going to be showing them. But if they are, that will be on here. That's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, I know 3 lives. Trust me, y'all. I'm ready to stop speaking. But yeah, so if they're going to show it, which they should, I think they will. I will be back live in pretty much a couple of hours. So we can watch John Calipari do his introductory press conference. Wow, y'all, what a last couple of days for sports, right? Yeah, I mean, you have the national championship game, South Carolina, Iowa, man, had over 18 million views. Then you had Tar Vanderveer, one of the greatest coaches ever, announced her retirement. Then you had John Calipari announce that he's leaving Kentucky to go to Arkansas. I mean, very, very excited. Then you got the WA draft coming up. I mean, y'all, it's just a very, 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 very exciting time for women's sports in particular, but just sports in general. Remember, y'all, laughter is good medicine, so make sure you get your daily dose. Y'all know I'm an Indian man. I love y'all. God bless. Peace.